grounding techniques for the present moment, and the neuroscience behind coming home to your own body. So, picture this: you are three drinks at a party, and suddenly you're not quite sure where you are anymore. Not physically, because you know you are standing in somebody else's living room, but you, the part of you that observes or that feels, and you feel that you've disappeared in the fog. Or maybe it's the opposite way. You've been working on moderating your drinking and you're completely clear headed, but you feel a wave of anxiety and your heart races, your thoughts spiral, and you feel like you're floating above your body. And watching yourself panic completely disconnects you from the ground beneath you. What if I told you that either scenario, whether you are using alcohol to numb the feelings or your system is being drowned by anxiety, your nervous system is doing the same exact thing? It's leaving the present moment because it doesn't feel safe. Today, we're exploring some grounding techniques, not as simple coping tricks, but as a powerful intervention that can help you and help your nervous system bring you back to your body, to your home. So let's start with what grounding actually means. So when you're overwhelmed by anxiety or stress, your brain's detector or your brain's threat detector, the amygdala, becomes overreactive. So it triggers your sympathetic nervous system into a fight or flight response. And your body floods with cortisol. So your heart rate spikes, your prefrontal cortex, the rational thinking part of you, goes on offline. And here's what's fascinating: approximately 80% of the nerve signals come from your body to your brain, and only 20% of them come from the brain to the body. And if we really think about what this means, is that your body is constantly sending signals to your brain, whether it's safe or in danger. And your brain makes the decision based on those bodily signals. And here is where it gets crucial for anyone that is changing their relationship with alcohol. When you're drinking regularly, alcohol dampens your prefrontal cortex and your ability for your body to sense those signals accurately. So alcohol creates a chemical buffer between you and your feelings, and it makes you feel, of course, less anxious, but it is disconnecting you from the signals that your body is sending to your brain. So when you stop drinking or you cut back significantly, suddenly all these body signals come flooding back. And you might feel your heart beating, tension in your chest, or butterflies in your stomach. Or either like it can be the shakiness of your hands. And for someone who has been using alcohol to escape those feelings or those sensations, feeling them fully can be terrifying. And without healthy ways to ground yourself in these moments, particularly, the urge of drinking again becomes overwhelming. Not because you're weak, but because your nervous system doesn't know how else to feel safe. So, what actually happens in your brain when you use grounding technique? Grounding techniques can help you calm the amygdala, allowing your prefrontal cortex, the rational planning part of your brain, to come back online. And this process activates that parasympathetic nervous system to rest and digest response, which lowers your heart rate and reduces stress, and it reduces stress hormones like cortisol. But grounding does something even more profound. So, research shows that grounding exercises can dampen the activity of your brain's default mode network. So, that neural pathway associated with overthinking or self referential thinking that can be a repetitive negative thinking. And instead, your brain devotes its energy to observe the environment. Think about that connection. When you're caught in that anxious thinking and you're focused on your thoughts of, I need to drink or I can't handle this, grounding shifts the attention away from this distressing thoughts and it turns it into the physical sensation, prompting the safety and enhancing that emotional stability. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in your body, extending from your brain stem all the way to your gut. And it's a critical part of your parasympathetic nervous system. And this system controls your resting heart rate, your respiration, and your digestion. When you practice grounding techniques, especially those involving breathing and your body awareness, you're directly stimulating your vagus nerve. So, studies have shown that stimulating the vagus nerve can improve your vagal tone by 67%, leading to a better stress resilience, reduce anxiety, and improve emotional regulation. But let's get practical. Here are 5 evidence-based grounding techniques, starting from the easiest to the most profound. So the technique number 1 is the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. And this is your emergency intervention when anxiety strikes or the craving hits. The technique involves acknowledging 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. So here's a real example. When you're at a restaurant and everyone's ordering wine and you are committed in not drinking, suddenly an intense craving starts, and your mind says, just let 1 glass won't hurt. Instead of fighting that thought, you ground. So, 5 things you can see: the menu, the candle, the painting on the wall, the friend's smile, the waiter's shoes. 4 things that you can touch: the cold glass of water, the smooth table surface, the soft sweater you have on, the texture of the napkin. Then 3 things you can hear: the music playing, the conversation going on the next table, the clink of the silverware. 2 things that you can smell: the bread on the basket or someone else's cologne. 1 thing you can taste: the taste of the water that you're sipping right now. This is a sensory engagement. It sends a message to your nervous system to activate that parasympathetic response. By the time you finish, that craving intensity has often decreased significantly. The second technique is the temperature grounding. So hold a piece of ice or a splash of cold water to your face. The second technique is the grounding technique. The second technique is the temperature grounding. So hold a piece of ice or splash cold water on your face. That sudden change of temperature can trigger a physiological shift and it startles your brain back into the present moment. Research shows that cold water immersion helps stimulate that vagus nerve pathway. It slows down your heart rate and it redirects the blood flow to your brain, and it reduces your body's natural stress response. So if you're at home and you're feeling overwhelmed with the urge to drink, try and finish your shower with 30 seconds of cold water or washing your face with cold water. That shock interrupts the craving cycle. The third technique is breath work with extended exhales. Deep diaphragm breathing, those long and slow belly breaths, can tell your vagus nerve you are safe. So, research shows that even 10 minutes of diaphragm breathing can decrease your anxiety and improve the breathing balance, can lower your heart rate. So, the critical element is you make that exhale longer than the inhale. When your exhale is longer, the reduction of stress is greater. And try this: breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4, breathe out for 8. The long exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system. This is especially powerful when you're newly clear headed and you're feeling all your emotions that you've been numbing so far. Instead of reaching for that drink to calm down, you are giving your body a different way to find that calm. One that eventually can strengthen your nervous system, which is very awesome and quite useful in any situation. The fourth technique is physical earthing. One of the most powerful grounding techniques is earthing, the physical act of touching your body to the earth, like walking barefoot through grass or sand, has proved amazing in the studies where people and the research shows that the connection can positively reduce the brain activity and support the blood pressure, reduce inflammation, especially because you are connecting with what you're doing at that instant. The fifth technique is the body awareness technique, and it brings you to the here and now by directing your focus from your thoughts and spirals into the sensations of your body. And it is about paying special attention to the physical sensation of each part of your body. So you can start from the feet all the way up to your head. And it is an increased awareness of how your body is feeling at that moment. And you can mix it up with the breathing technique of breathing in and exhaling longer. So, this technique is very profound for anyone in transformation because when you've spent years disconnecting from your body using alcohol not to feel, the reconnection of your physical sensation teaches your nervous system it is safe to be in my body and I don't need to escape. The real transformation feels very uncomfortable, and it is because you're finally allowing yourself to feel what you've been avoiding. When you practice grounding regularly, not just during, oh, everyone's drinking and I feel anxious, something profound really happens. You expand the window of tolerance. And this is your capacity to handle stress without becoming overwhelmed or shutting down. So, regular grounding and the practice of it expands the window and makes you more resilient. You break the association between discomfort and alcohol when your nervous system learns I can feel uncomfortable and I can feel the sensations and stay present. I don't need to numb it out. You develop what it's called a self as context. So you become the observer of your own experience rather than being overtaken by it. You notice, oh, I'm having a craving rather than becoming the craving itself. Here's something crucial that often gets missed. Feelings of safety emerge from the internal physiological states regulated by the automatic nervous system, but they're also deeply influenced by social connection. Even simple acts like petting an animal have shown to decrease cortisol, which is the main stress hormone, and it offers a biochemical stress relief through connection. For someone changing their relationship with alcohol, this means that calling a supportive friend when a craving hits, or connecting with a community, or sitting next to someone you trust, these aren't just nice ideas. They are neurological interventions that activate that vagal pathway and the part of your nervous system that is associated with safety and social engagement. Here's what I want you to remember. The feeling of feeling ungrounded, whether you dissociated because of alcohol or you're floating away because of the anxiety, isn't a personal failure. It's your nervous system to attempt to protect you from something that feels overwhelming. But you have more power than you think. Grounding techniques give you the direct line to your nervous system, and it allows you to manually shift your brain from survival mode into clarity mode. Every time you choose to ground, instead of feeling numb, you're sending your nervous system a powerful message. We are safe, we can stay present, and we don't need to escape. Will it feel comfortable at first? No. Real transformation often feels challenging before it feels better because you're finally feeling what you've been avoiding. But with practice, grounding becomes automatic and your nervous system learns to trust your body again. And you learn how to ride out the discomfort without needing to escape it. Which of these 5 techniques will you practice today? Will it be the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Or would it be the barefoot walking on the grass this weekend? Will you practice the extended exhales when you go to bed? Your body is waiting to feel safe. Your nervous system is waiting to be back home. All of your body is waiting. Your body is waiting to feel safe. Your body is waiting to feel safe, and your nervous system is waiting to come home. All you have to do is help it remember how. Your body is waiting to feel safe, and your nervous system is waiting to be home. So all you have to do is help it remember how. So if you want to learn more about this and other very interesting topics, download the app Unconscious Moderation, follow us on YouTube, on Instagram and TikTok so you can have more information about different topics. Voy a volver a hacer esto. And if you want to learn more about grounding or breath work or hypnotherapy and journaling, please download the app Unconscious Moderation and start your journey today. And follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok so you can have more valuable content your way.